Hello and welcome to an episode of Historically Marked. I am Jason, just outside Clear Lake, Iowa. I'm about 4 or 5 miles north of there. I'm pretty much in a very isolated area, or so it seems, but I am not too far from the actual Buddy Holly crash site. It's going to be a little walk, but there is a parking area. To make a long story short, the people who own the land where the incident happened 65 plus years ago, they're nice enough to let people walk a path that goes all the way to the actual site where it happened. And there is a parking lot here, and there were a few people here earlier as I was pulling in, but they were all leaving, but I don't really have the place to myself. So let me go ahead and show you around, and then we'll make the trek. Okay, so this is called the Don McLean American Pie. So for those of you that don't know, I'm sure every one of us has heard the song American Pie, be it karaoke nights or on the radio or whatever. That song was inspired by the tragic plane crash that took the lives of Buddy Holly, Ritchie Valens, and Big Bopper. But it wasn't just the only time it's been mentioned in media. I mean, there are other movies like the Buddy Holly story and the La Bamba, also American Graffiti, where I can't think of that guy's name, the dude that drives that yellow truck. He's like, well, rock and roll hasn't been the same since Buddy Holly died. And he was right. He said, all we got is that stupid surf music. But yeah, they have a Johnny toilet here. Anybody can park. Just don't do anything stupid, that's all they ask. Oh, they also take donations, although people are donating and guitar picks. Okay. Other than that, this place is well kept. And then right across the road is the starting point of where you can make your trek. It's about a half-mile walk or so I've heard. And they got stickers caked all over the place. But this is where the starting point is. I don't know why somebody left their shoes behind and sunglasses. But yeah, these are Buddy Holly's specs. Houston Astros do-rag. What? And because it rained the last two nights in Iowa, it's gonna be a muddy one, but I think I can manage. So, all right, here we go. Okay, so I'm about the end of the line. And I will warn you, anybody who does walk this, especially after it rained, and if it's not sunny, you might want to wear boots. But now I'm entering a sacred area. This is where, unfortunately, the plane went down, claiming the lives of 4 men. The first one, Roger Peterson, who was the pilot. And I don't know why there's a Danish flag next to that, but anywho, February 3rd, 1959, it happened. But yes, Buddy Holly, Ritchie Valens, Big Bopper, the accident, the plane went down right here in this spot. Some say it was kind of like past the fence, or maybe it was like right behind, and of course the plane, you know, when planes crash, things scatter everywhere. And of course, I'm not going to get into any details about that, but I mean, now I was talking about, when I went to the surf ballroom, I was talking about the theories of why they took the plane. Well, February 2nd of 1959, they were on the Winter Ballroom dance tour. They went to a few different cities in the Midwest, places in Wisconsin, Iowa, even Minnesota, and they were staying on an unheated bus. That, of course, was very frustrating, and like I said in the previous video, Big Bopper had the flu, but he still performed nonetheless. I mean, he was getting paid, so yeah. But also on the bill were Dion and the Belmonts, and I think a couple other acts as well. But Dion and the Belmonts were an up-and-coming act at the time. They had that song called I Wonder Why. Then Dion split with the Belmonts and had a successful solo career in the 60s, and he went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame later on, as did Buddy Holly and Ritchie Valens. But the best place to listen to the story about, you know, what happened at the surf ballroom and the plane and how they all board the plane, go to Dion's YouTube channel after you watch this video. I'll have the link to that video. Dion remembers the night like it was yesterday. I mean, the video is about 10 or 15 years old, but I mean, it's I think it's about 45 to an hour long, but it's definitely worth, you know, hearing every detail of the story. Dion said in the video that he did not board the plane because he grew up in a poor family, and he knew that, you know, as a matter of self-respect, he's like, you know, back then my parents couldn't afford a plane, going up riding on the planes, or even a car or something like that. I don't remember how he put it. But Buddy Holly wanted to go to Moorhead, Minnesota because he wanted more time to rest and more time to, you know, prepare, like washing his clothes and all that. And I don't know, just kind of get a little jump start. So faster transportation is everything. And of course, it ended tragically, but there was 2 seats on the plane, and you know, I've heard they had to flip coins, but there's different theories about that, so like why they did that. And then Waylon Jennings was part of, who of course later became a country superstar, outlaw country superstar. He was part of Buddy Holly's band. Now Buddy Holly allegedly said, you know, after Waylon lost the coin flip, he said, well, I hope your bus crashes. And then Waylon allegedly said, well, I hope your plane crashes. And those words haunted him the rest of his life, no doubt. But, you know, they were just exchanging jokes like brothers do, like men do. But sometimes we just gotta watch what we say. So I'm going to take a look at this. I know I'm going to have to get in the mud. People have left some behind, even a vinyl record, but it doesn't look like there's anything on there. There's coins, sunglasses, rocks, painted rocks, in a bag, and bunny ears. But to some people, this signaled the end of rock and roll. Around this time, 1959, Elvis entered the Army. Little Richard almost died in a plane crash as well. And legend has it, when he was on his plane as it was descending down, he prayed on board saying, Lord, if you forgive me for what I've done the last few years, I will go back to church and become a minister. And that he did before returning to rock and roll. Rock and roll was kind of on the slight downturn anyway. Like, it wasn't as rebellious as it was in the mid-50s. But then these 4 lads from Liverpool took over the world. You know who I'm talking about, the Beatles. They brought back a little surprise with them from England, saying, hey, rock and roll will never die. But today in 2025, I don't know what to think about rock and roll. The spirit lives on, but the music, rock is kind of dead at the moment, unless you listen to bands like Ghost and there's so many underground ones, but yeah. All right, so for now, I'm gonna make my way back. So, all right, onwards we go. Now, one thing I'd like to add, as far as the plane crash and the tragedy, was that nobody had heard the crash, not even the people that own the land or the nearby farmers. Now, Moorhead, Minnesota, their airport issued an alert when the plane hadn't come by that morning. I don't know what time it was supposed to arrive, but it was sometime in the middle of the night where the 4 men were supposed to land. So, but of course, you know, they found out the hard way that it was only a few miles northwest of where they had taken off at the Mason City airport. Okay, I have made it back. You know, it was very touching, but at the same time, it was kind of thrilling to see part of rock and roll history. But Oh, look, it's kind of weird. I can see Interstate 35 from here. Wow, all the trucks and everybody going by. I'm gonna see if I can jump over this mud puddle here. Oh, I guess maybe I can do the Sharpie. I don't know what good that'll do, but hey. Okay, where is an empty spot I can sign? Well, all right, I wrote my name, Jason, and historically marked on there. I don't know how long that's gonna stay, but hey, thanks to whoever provided the Sharpies, by the way.
Yeah.
All right, well, I am Jason, just outside Clear Lake, Iowa, 5 miles north of it, at the Buddy Holly, or I'm sorry, near the Buddy Holly crash site. All right, I am Jason, sign off.